friends, welcome. I'm Keisha, and today's video I'm going to share with you a few things that I've been making this week. I've been cooking straight out of my pantry and freezer since I've been home. We only went shopping when we got into town, grabbed a few things, milk, eggs, butter, that was it. And so I have not been to the grocery store in 8 days. 8 full days. Today is the 9th day I have not been to the grocery store. I have seriously only been using what is already in my house. So I'm going to share a few things with you. We are going to start with making a bread bowl because I don't have any sandwich bread, toast bread, nothing bread. I'm out of bread. And well, I want some bread for toast, you know, in the morning, or my grandkids come over, they want a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. So I'm going to make some bread today. So we're going to start with that. But I'm also going to share what I'm cooking for dinner tonight. And this is something that I just dug out of my freezer. Some leftover foods that I made like probably almost 2 months ago. It's been sitting in the freezer. Let's get started. Start getting my ingredients out for my bread. Super simple, super fast. I have not made this bread in, I think, about a year, probably like 11 months. So I'm a little out of practice with bread making, but I have been making a few things like biscuits and whatnot lately. So let's give this bread a try. All right, friends, I got all my ingredients here. I've got about 3 cups of flour. I'm gonna do a teaspoon of salt and 1 packet of instant yeast. That's about, I think, 2 1/4 teaspoons. And I'm gonna go ahead and give this a mix. And then we're just gonna add in about 1.5 cups of warm water. Just gonna add a little bit at a time and kind of get this mixed in. And I'm just using the handle of a wooden spoon because I don't have a fancy dough hook. Like I said, be nice to me because I haven't made this bread in probably about a year. So, but it was a really easy bread last time I made it. So I mean, it was pretty nice, pretty tasty. Everybody loved it. All right. Let me cover this up and get it into a warm place to rise. We're gonna let this rise about an hour or until it doubles in size. All right. Now that we got that warming, it's gonna be about an hour. I just wanted to share with you real quick what I'm going to be making for dinner. I was digging through my freezer because I'm trying to just use stuff that I have in there, and I found some things that have been in there for a couple of months, and I know that because this is dated August, actually this is 3 months, August 16th, so it needs to get used. This is some enchilada sauce that I made, and I found a couple of burrito bowls that are probably almost as old. So I found a couple of burrito bowls. This is just ground meat, rice, beans, corn, and some taco seasoning, and probably some tomatoes or bell pepper or something in there. I think this was from an Instant Pot recipe I did. So this is probably about 3 months old too. I don't know. We're gonna risk it and we're gonna eat it. So I'm gonna, and then I always have tortillas in my freezer. So we're gonna make some enchiladas out of this. And I have some cheese already shredded up. We'll just throw some cheese on top and bake it in the oven until it's heated through. And that's gonna be for dinner tonight. So super easy, and getting rid of some things that are in my freezer that are a little bit on the old side. Also today, and I've been wanting to do this basically since I've gotten home, is do a sourdough starter. I've made a couple of sourdough starters in the past, and I just never managed to take care of them long enough. So now we're attempting again because last Christmas I got this Frontiersman sourdough starter, which I've only ever made my own starter, but you know, since I got this as a gift, I thought I would use this and see how it goes. So far, not going well. And it's only been It's 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I started this at 8:30, and I was just supposed to take the mix in here, break it up into small chunks, and add a couple of ounces of water to dissolve it. This is still not totally dissolved. It's still kind of chunky. In fact, I'm going to add some more water to it. So I've been adding about another ounce of water about every hour and a half because it's just not breaking up. So let me get some more water. So I've just been adding about an ounce every hour, hour and a half. And it seems to help it break up. But it was supposed to dissolve in 2 ounces of water in an hour's time. It's still not completely dissolved. So I'm trying to wait for this to dissolve because then I'm supposed to feed it. I'm gonna go put this back in the nice little warm room it was in and let it continue to dissolve. I think it's getting close, so I think in maybe about another hour I should be able to go ahead and start feeding it. I'm excited. We'll see what happens. Oh, while we're waiting for this stuff to rise and come up, then we are going to go ahead and watch one of my earlier recipes I just made a few days ago. I made a chicken Alfredo bake, and this was the first kind of dump and go casserole that I've ever done in the oven. So I've done stuff like that in the crock pot, and even I've done Instant Pot recipes, but I've never really done oven baking. So this was really interesting to try out for me. So yeah, chicken Alfredo bake. I'm gonna make a dump and go chicken Alfredo. I'm going to start with 16 ounces of pasta, 2 to 3 cups of cooked chicken, and I'm just going to add my Alfredo sauce, just using a jar sauce, but you can use homemade. And let's see, I'm going to mix about a cup of broth. Any kind of broth you like. I'm using turkey broth because that's what I have on hand that's homemade. I'm just going to rinse all the nice liquid out of that jar because we want to get all the sauce in there, right? And then my broth is low sodium, so I'm going to add just a little bit of salt in here. I'm going to add a little bit of seasoning just because I like a little extra flavor, so a little garlic. And a little bit of chopped Italian seasoning. I'm going to add a couple more cups of broth here. I'm going to go ahead and just kind of give this a good mix together. Now I'm just going to kind of tamp it down to make sure that all the pasta is kind of in the liquid. I'm going to cover this securely with some foil here, and then I'll check this in about a half an hour just for see if how the pasta is getting done. If the pasta is not quite done yet, I'll cover it, put it back in. I may need to add a little broth if it's not done and it's starting to look a little dry. But let's come back in a half an hour and we'll check it together. Really pretty. I think it's going to need to go a little longer though. Yeah. A little bit longer. Try to get it all in the liquid. There. Okay. Cover it back up and stick it back in for about, I'm going to go about 10 minutes. Call that good. Next, we're going to sprinkle this with some cheese and pop it back in the oven uncovered for a few minutes just to get the cheese melted. Alright, I'm just going to use the cheeses I have on hand, which is some mozzarella and cheddar, and I have some Parmesan. So I'm going to top this, stick it back in the oven for about 5 minutes until the cheese is all melty. And just kind of, use as much or as little as you want. This is a really nice, sharp cheddar. So I'm going to go a little light. I don't want to go too heavy on my sharp cheddar. only kind of Parmesan I have right now, so we're just gonna go with that. And I'm making a huge mess, but we like Parmesan. All right, here is the finished casserole. The cheese is all nice and melty and starting to get a little golden brown on top. All right, get a little, yeah, it's recording. Serve this up. Looks pretty good. All right, the rest of that little bit out there. There's the finished chicken Alfredo dump and go bake. Pretty simple. Took less than 5 minutes to throw together. It baked for about 45. And yeah, delicious. All right, my friends, this is all ready to come out. Has doubled in size. It's very jiggly. Now we are going to scrape this out. And I'm going to heavily flour this because it's very wet. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this out on here. Probably should have floured that up a little bit. It's okay. I'm not an experienced bread baker, so you know, it is what it is. But that's why we're doing this, right? Because I want to become an experienced bread baker. So we're gonna just try to fold a little bit of extra flour into this. There we go. Just gonna keep trying to work this into like a little ball here. Now, I'll put that in there. And let's get it. All right, I got this in here. Cover this and put it in a warm spot and let it rise a little bit more while get my Dutch oven in there. Preheat the oven with the Dutch oven in it to 450. Go put this in a warm spot and then we'll be ready to bake it. So I hope you enjoyed my little chicken Alfredo bake. And while this is going, we're gonna go ahead and move on to the next recipe that I made earlier this week, which is my version of KFC bowls. It was pretty fast and easy to make actually, and I just used stuff that I had in my pantry already. So I'll go ahead and let you watch that while I'm getting this proofed up again and popped in the oven. So I'll come back when this comes out of the oven. Tonight's recipe is my version of KFC bowls. So we're gonna go ahead and start with the chicken. I'm just gonna go ahead and dredge all these up real quick. And I have all this seasoned up already. My chicken tenders are all ready, and I went ahead and prepped them by spraying them with a little cooking spray. To get them ready to cook, we are going to preheat the air fryer before we stick them in. Right, now that the air fryer is preheated, we're gonna go ahead and add the chicken and cook it at 400 degrees for about 10 minutes. And I probably will do this in batches so that way all my pieces will be cooked evenly. Because I'm doing 9 pieces, I'll probably put 4 or 5 in each one. Let's see how they fit in here. We'll do 5 in the first batch. And we'll cook that 400 for 10 minutes. While those chicken tenders are cooking, I'm gonna go ahead and finish up preparing the rest of the ingredients according to the package directions. I'm just gonna drain this can of corn that I have here. I'm gonna cook these. They just require a couple of cups of boiling water, and you stir it in, and then it's done. Some gravy, a cup of cold water, cook it up till it's thick. And I have some shredded cheddar cheese here that I'm gonna throw on top. My air fried chicken tenders are all ready to go, so I'm gonna go ahead and chop them up into bite-sized pieces so I can start assembling the bowls. All right, I'm gonna start layering up my bowls so they can go in the oven and get the cheese all melty. So I'm just gonna divide these potatoes in half.
Oh, really?
Get this all right, I got the potatoes all pressed in, and now we're gonna start layering. I made some homemade biscuits to go with that. My version of the KFC bowl. All right, friends, the bread is done. I'm gonna have it just kind of elevated here so that it can cool completely. And this isn't a very tall rack, so just thought I would elevate it so it can cool completely so I can cut into this baby and try it out. I think I can make at least 4 of these. Which is more than enough. What am I doing? I don't know. All right. Just plop that right in the middle. It's okay. There's our burritos rolled up. I'm gonna pour that enchilada sauce over the top and put these in the oven. All right, friends, my casserole is done. Well, my wet burritos are done. That is dinner tonight. Leftovers from my freezer turned into some beautiful looking enchilada burritos. A couple of more recipes is I made a homemade pizza, and also I made another pasta bake, and that was just another dump and go. Throw the pasta in there with the meat and the sauce and bake it. Came out delicious. I hope you enjoyed this video. The next one will be probably like a grocery haul because I'll finally be needing to go to the grocery store and get some produce. I'm so excited I'm gonna have produce. So I will see you all in the next video. Thanks again so much. Bye.